So Laurent, welcome back. A few things have happened in the world since last time we were speaking, I think, and French elections. Macron won. I think you predicted that one.
Not really. In fact, I was more like predicting like a surprise, but it didn't come as a surprise this time.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
We will see in June with the parliamentary election how things are going, and
yes,
I'm not really convinced that this will change a lot of things for the Euro and the European Union, to be honest.
Well, at the end of the last podcast, we actually discussed Bitcoin.
Yeah, I introduced Bitcoin as the new gold, or let's say the crypto gold.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a very topical subject, I think, with cryptocurrency seems to be moving forward. And as a casual observer, I've noted the price of Bitcoin has been rising quite sharply as well.
Yes. So now we have Bitcoin above the price of 1 ounce of gold. It's around 1,800.
That's what we spoke about equal, right? But now it's Bitcoin is a more valuable commodity. So in terms of that, today's podcast, we have you, the expert, to tell us all about.
Okay, so today we'll talk about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and the technology behind Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, which is blockchain.
Fantastic.
So first, what is blockchain? So I start with Dilbert will tell us everything about blockchain.
It's a very interesting cartoon you have.
But more seriously, blockchain, in a few words, is a public ledger, and it's a digital ledger. So maybe people really don't know what's a ledger. I mean, to make it simple, I would say I would describe it like a chronological order of various events that are stored somewhere in the cloud or in the computer space, in the digital space. And once you add an event, you just add, let's say, one brick to the chain. And it's why it's called blockchain, in fact.
Okay.
That's the first terminology that maybe people have started to hear about it. But why blockchain is because every time something happens related to this chronological event in the public ledger, you just add one block in the chain, so it has been called blockchain. Quite simple way to describe the technology. But maybe also we talk about cryptocurrency because, I mean, the most famous today is Bitcoin, but there are in fact various cryptocurrency. What's a cryptocurrency? So I would say it's a digital currency, it's a virtual currency, so it's not something that you can own in your physical wallet because it's digital. And the big difference with the US dollar, the Singapore dollar, is that this currency is not issued by a central bank, it's issued by a website or independent organization that create this currency. Why people think that, what's the advantage or the benefit of a cryptocurrency? Well, it's easy to transfer because it's like a peer-to-peer system, right? If you are subscribing to the same blockchain technology, you can give me some bitcoins in exchange of a product if the merchant recognize this product. It's not yet really started, but the base of the blockchain technology and the cryptocurrency is more a peer-to-peer technology.
Right. So
the way is, I mean, what was the original idea is to avoid to go through the usual banking system and the usual currency system. I would say the major drawback I see about cryptocurrency is there are two there. First is virtual, so it's not that you can, as I say, you cannot own it in your physical wallet. So you can maybe own it in your smartphone wallet, but not in your physical wallet.
So I pay for a Bitcoin. A Bitcoin, let's say, is $1,800, and I buy one whole one. But I pay for that with a credit card transaction.
Yes.
So where does that money go? The money that goes from my bank account, let's say, into
I mean the the issuer of the Bitcoin, I would say.
Right.
So let's call it the Bitcoin central banker, which is not a central banker.
So there's someone sat there.
There's someone sat there who collect this money and give you back 1 Bitcoin. This Bitcoin is stored on the blockchain of this issuer. And once you want to resell this Bitcoin, you go to the same issuer and resell this Bitcoin. They will give you a price, a market price for this Bitcoin at the time, and they will give you back your Sing dollars or your US dollar. So also the issue is that you have to take the risk of the issuer. I would say here you don't take the risk of MAS, the risk of the Federal Reserve. You take the risk of the Bitcoin issuer.
Right.
So I think today, the big drawback of Bitcoin is that it's still the Wild West, because a lot of issuer has emerged the last, let's say, 2-3 years, and you have to be confident with the, I would say, the reseller of Bitcoins you are dealing with. So that's the big issue. But I mean, we see that Bitcoin technology and blockchain technology has attracted quite a lot of interest, even from people like Larry Summers that start to talk about the Bitcoin technology. So I think also something that you may have heard about is smart contract. So smart contract is just a phrase, and it describes, in fact, a computer code that facilitates the exchange of money or content property. So my view is this smart contract is based on the blockchain technology, and it will be a big development for a lot of people, because it will be the source of the next change that we are going to face in the current years, because these smart contracts, once they are I would say approved or they are developed by governments, this will solve a lot of administrative and paperwork, because everything you do around a smart contract can be registered on a blockchain, which can be managed, because today the blockchain are mainly managed by private entities, right? But there's nothing against government to start to manage blockchain. It's just that given that the technology is still at early stage, I think that they are not really ready to move to this path. But my view is that one day they will move to this path, so you can be registered from your birth certificate till your death certificate, and everything you do in between these 2 dates in your life can be registered there somewhere in the cloud in a government blockchain.
Right.
So it sounds like Big Brothers, but to me it will solve quite a lot of problems, especially in terms of property and shares, ownership, and so on. So I think that this could be something that can be quite interesting for the development of Bitcoin. So here I put a short history of the Bitcoin. I won't go through in details. It's more for people, for the reference who wants to take a look. Maybe I can talk about the major cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
Which I think it's quite interesting. So I would say the well-known cryptocurrency today, the best known is Bitcoin for sure. But here is a market cap of the major cryptocurrencies. So if you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, which are the 2 largest cryptocurrency on the market. And I think what's interesting is that if you look at Bitcoin's market cap, these data are a bit old, but it's roughly a ratio of 1 to 10 of a company like Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo ranks among the top 15 worldwide company, and today the largest cryptocurrency is only like 1/10 of Wells Fargo market cap. So as is mentioned here, there's 710 different cryptocurrency in the world. Perry, if you want to more, doesn't cost you much to start a cryptocurrency. You just need a good computer and to do some marketing. Then you can start to issue your Perry coin or whatever you want.
I guess it's like what is the decision-making process that people are choosing between number one, number two, number three, and so on. But there's so many to choose from. Surely people are only going to want to go for the one that's more popular, right?
Yeah, I think that, of course, I mean, because once if you choose like a smaller cryptocurrency, the risk, I mean, the counterparty risk is much higher than if you choose like a Bitcoin or Ethereum, which are the largest cryptocurrency today. So I think here also I would say the size effect is very important. So the issuer of all this cryptocurrency, I would say that it's also a new industry, right? So people try their luck. They try to start a new cryptocurrency and try to make it popular. But I would say that it's most likely that in 3 years or 5 years time, we will have one or two cryptocurrency in the market.
How secure is the cryptocurrency?
But I would say the issue, as I said, of a cryptocurrency is that the main risk you are taking is the risk of your counterparty, and it's also the risk that the data or your ownership of the Bitcoin or your ownership of the Ethereum is stored somewhere in the cloud. So everything is linked to all this data is protected at the data provider, I would say.
Yes. So when you had the news today, like with this ransomware software, could that happen to a cryptocurrency where somebody comes into your computers where this cryptocurrency is stored, right? Where they hack a whole bunch of computers and say you can access your Bitcoin now because you've got to give us.
This happened in the past. In fact, some of the largest Bitcoin issuers have already been subject to, I would say, a piracy attack or this kind of crypto attack, cyber attack.
Right.
And I think that's the major risk today in investing in Bitcoin. Is I feel that's the risk. The major risk today is that Bitcoin is mainly unregulated.
Right.
So it has positive because, I mean, as I will talk later about this, the fact that it's unregulated, it attracts, I mean, investor who try to find an alternative investment to the traditional currencies or investment they have, the tools they have.
And you can't insure against any loss either. So I'm assuming.
No, of course. I mean, because all these, cryptocurrency data provider, I mean, have no jurisdiction. It's not like you can go next door to their office and claim back your Bitcoin like you can go to a CBC branch and claim back your Sing dollars on your bank account. So today, that's the major risk of owning a Bitcoin, I would say, is that there's no regulation, there's no government intervention in this part of the investment. Now, I would say that Japan is looking to launch crypto yen, so a Japanese yen cryptocurrency. And China also, the PBOC, has in the recent past issued some statement they will look to issue a crypto renminbi. So I think that the next big development in the cryptocurrency space will come when all these central banks move forward and go ahead with the issuance of their own cryptocurrencies, which I think will be at the same time as the government will move to use this blockchain technology for our everyday life. Just maybe to give also a rough idea. So today, if I look at the market cap of Bitcoin, it's roughly the market cap of PayPal. So it just gives, and if I compute all the cryptocurrencies in the world, it's equivalent to the market cap of a company like Caterpillar. Wow. So it's not that the market is a very big market. So I think that also what we have seen recently, I would say, the move what kind of speculative move we have seen in Bitcoin and in cryptocurrencies recently. It's also due to the fact that the market is very small. If you imagine, I mean, all the Bitcoin available today on the market is the value of a company like PayPal, which is not even in the top 50 of the world's largest companies in the world.
Sure.
So I think you asked me what's the value of a Bitcoin. I think it's useless to give a number today because nobody can say a Bitcoin is worth 1,800, is worth 20,000 or 50,000. Just here I have rough valuation. So at today's price is around the valuation of PayPal. If all the Bitcoins were valued at $8,000 per Bitcoin, would be a company like Visa. And let's say if it's worth $63,000, it will be equivalent to the M2. So this is the all the monetary available in the world. So it gives you a rough idea that, let's say, all the currencies would be transformed into Bitcoin today, would be worth around $60,000. But it's just a rough evaluation, I would say.
There's a limit on the number of Bitcoins available.
Yes, because due to the technology of the blockchain, only the issuer can only issue a limited number of Bitcoins.
Right.
So there's a finite number of Bitcoin, in fact, which is a bit similar to gold, right? Because there's a finite amount of gold available on Earth. It's not like the US dollar. The Fed can always create more US dollar. It's a fiat currency. At the end of the day, the Bitcoin is not a fiat currency. That's why I think that in terms of investment, it's much more closer to gold than rather to a FX investment.
Right.
So why blockchain matters? So it's a 2008 technology, so it's like not even 10 years old technology. And but I think that what's important now and today is that a lot of merchants start to use Bitcoin for the personal, for their use. And I think that what makes Bitcoin and blockchain important is the amount of money that venture capitalists have started to invest in. So as I said, the most obvious application is a peer-to-peer transaction website or transaction app. But I think that there are a lot of things that you can do with the blockchain technology and the Bitcoin that will change the world as the internet has changed our world now 30 years ago already, I think, more or less. So I see blockchain like the next internet revolution.
So everybody should put their money into Bitcoin?
Well, I won't put all my money into Bitcoin because the risk is here.
Yeah.
But I have some comments on Bitcoin as a currency, as an asset. So I think what's interesting is if you look at this chart, there are two charts I like to follow. Is first the Bitcoin versus the renminbi. I think that the last, let's say, 6 months or 12 months move on Bitcoin has been mainly driven by Chinese investor using the Bitcoin technology as a way to diversify out of the renminbi, because there's still a lot of lack of regulation in China regarding investment in Bitcoins. And then I put the chart of the Bitcoin versus the chart of gold. And I think here what's interesting is that the volatility is much more different.
Yeah.
If you see, gold is already seen quite as a rather volatile asset class, but Bitcoin is even more volatile than gold, and even more unpredictable, I would say, than Bitcoin. And I explain this because the market is small, and the market is still in the hand of, I would say, expert and very few players.
Yeah, I do remember several years ago there was quite a big steep fall in the value of Bitcoin, right?
Oh yes.
And it was a huge crash.
A huge crash, and then this huge crash, in fact, in the Bitcoin price, is because a lot of this cryptocurrency data supplier have been under attack, under a cyber attack. So there were like 2 or 3 major websites in the US that suffered this cyber attack. And at the time, I mean, some already question the existence of Bitcoin as the survival, the possible survival of Bitcoin. I think the Bitcoin managed to go through these bad times because, as I said, it's more the technology behind it that is important for the future. So I think that the blockchain technology, the fact that you can store somewhere all the data, you can access all this data, and then you cannot change this data. Once the data is stored in the blockchain, is irreversible. It's that you cannot alter the data. To change the data, you have to create a new block, I would say. So you have the history of all the blocks.
Is there actually a limit on how big this blockchain becomes? Or it must develop all the time, right? So the
issue will be that we will need, I mean, to extend the size of the blockchains, we will need higher capacity of mining and higher capacity in terms of computer. So that's also an issue today, is that the cost of developing blockchain application is still relatively expensive, let's say, compared to a simple internet application. My own view is that you should buy a Bitcoin and forget it.
Yes.
You shouldn't have a look at it on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis, or on a monthly basis.
I sure wish I did 10 years ago when I first heard about it.
My view is that you should buy one with a credible and recognized data provider and just forget it. And I think there's 6 reasons for this. Is there's a lot of money coming in this technology. It's a big business adding to the ecosystem. The network effect is still on play. It's just early days of investment. If you think that this potential ETF Bitcoin coming in the US will be a big inflow of money if it goes through. I mean, it's not yet approved by the SEC, but one day I think it will be approved. Then you start to have seen like asset manager, family office start to look at Bitcoin as a diversifying asset. And I mean, just to end, I think Bitcoin is already in our day-to-day life. So in the slideshow, you can see this. One of my friend and colleague from the MIT course has developed a Bitcoin ATM.
Right.
So he's ready to launch it here in Singapore. He's still in the process of finalizing the last details for his Bitcoin ATM. So soon you will be able to see your Bitcoin in your hands, because this ATM will just give you a real Bitcoin you can own in your hands. And also the same guy has already launched a transaction system. It's working in Malaysia now, and using Bitcoin as a way to transact. So you can buy beer with Bitcoins at some place in Malaysia. So you can have a look at the YouTube video later, and can see how to transact with Bitcoin.
Fabulous. Well, certainly it's a very interesting piece of technology. It still has its risks, of course, but definitely is a very interesting space to keep an eye on.
Well, I think that's, as I say, it's early days, but imagine you were investing in the internet 30 years ago, or you were investing in let's say, Microsoft or Amazon 30 years ago when they just started. You would have buy one share of Amazon at the IPO. you imagine how rich you will be today. So
Yeah, that's very, very true, isn't it? And certainly.
so I think that Bitcoin is the same philosophy. It's just you buy one, then just you forget it. But I would say I recommend to look at credible data provider, because here what's important is the credibility and the size of the data provider.
How do you establish that? How do you establish the credibility? Are we talking about the big names?
Yeah, the big names.
Yeah.
So I don't want to. I mean, if I want to give one name, it's CoinDesk. It's
Right.
maybe the more credible Bitcoin provider today in the market.
Sure. And where there's at least 700 plus providers of this kind of technology, there's certainly choice out there. But, you know, if you want to be as secure as you can be, it's better to go where there's more credibility.
Well, in terms of investment, I would only recommend to invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Yeah.
Because these, to me, are the two cryptocurrency that will last in the future. Because they have already reached the size and the development that give them survival rate which is relatively high. I won't go for any other cryptocurrency, because I mean at the end of the day is also, as I see, is the network effect, right?
Yes.
So you need to buy something that your neighbor is going to buy. You need to buy what everybody is going to buy. Let's say if I start today a cryptocurrency, if I'm the only one buying this cryptocurrency has no future.
That's right. It's like gold. It's only worth what people are prepared to pay for it.
Yes.
And sometimes it's a loss, and there's always a downside as well. So
I mean, I think that if you invest in one Bitcoin, you have to be ready to take the volatility of the Bitcoin. I mean, as I said, buy it if you want to buy it and forget it. Just keep it aside, and let's say maybe once a year you review what it has done.
thank you very much for your time again today, Laura.
Well, thank you, Perry.
It's great
Thanks for
stuff, as
inviting me
always.
for this podcast.
Well, it's very insightful, and really appreciate all the efforts you put into making a fantastic presentation there.
Thank you.
So, if anybody wants to leave comments on that, and please do so, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.